you ever wondered how to be the best first-time home buyer? Well, I'm here today to chat with you about ways that you could definitely put some things into practice to prepare to buying your first home. So we're just going to cruise right through my little slides I've prepared here, hopefully give you some great information to walk away with. And yeah, hopefully if you have any questions, you can put those in the comments below. And I can follow up with making more content that would be helpful for you in your home buying or even your home selling. All right, so if you don't know, my name is Paula McCabe. I am a realtor here in Sarasota, Florida, and today we're going to be covering how to be the best first-time home buyer. So obviously my mission is to present knowledge about hot topics of the real estate. Today I chose the first-time home buyer topic, so we'll be covering that today. I'm just going to go over our agenda. So a simple introduction. We're going to talk about starting with a budget, your credit score, your down payment, being pre-approved for a mortgage and how important that is, your neighborhoods, like researching the neighborhoods and all the stats about the neighborhood, knowing what your wants and needs are, like what is that home that I want to buy? What does it look like? Hire a trusted real estate agent. Attend open houses, inspections on your home once you get under contract, evaluate like your affordability and your long-term investment. What does that look like and why it benefits you? Negotiate with confidence. That's why, again, you have a great realtor on your side to help you negotiate those contracts. Get homeowners insurance, the importance of that. In homeowners insurance and how it protects your investment, and plan for your moving expenses. Like once everything's said and done, now we have to plan for moving. So these are all, I feel like, great topics first-time home buyers should be knowledgeable about. And so let's go ahead and move on to the next slide. So I just wanted to hit home. The largest benefit of owning a home is building your equity and creating long-term wealth through property appreciation. And it's so hard for young people these days to, like the get rich quick, theory or all that type of things. So the steady and the most, I would say, lucrative way to invest in yourself, your family, your legacy is homes, property, investing in that type of investment. It's, if you buy, what is the saying? They say, you don't wait to buy real estate, you buy real estate and wait. Because 100% of the time, as long as you're not pushed into a situation where you have to sell and maybe it's the wrong time to sell and that sort of thing. But if you buy real estate and wait, it's definitely going to pay off dividends because long-term, you accrue appreciation in your home, and that definitely pays off. And a lot of people are seeing some equity in their homes these days. So just unforeseen circumstances has benefited a lot of Americans in the last couple of years with the equity in their home. And they were able to, put their kids through college and just pay off debt, become debt free. Like a lot of bad things came about from this pandemic that we went through, but a lot of things were definitely beneficial. And owning a home and being a homeowner and cashing in on the equity has been super beneficial to a lot of people. All right, so introduction. Just welcome to my guide on becoming a first-time home buyer. Just again, hitting home, the first-time home buying, like it's exciting. It's this huge milestone. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm about to buy a house and I just don't know what to expect. I don't know how to prepare. I don't know, what's going on. So like it's exciting, but then again, you get a little like nervous, a little anxious. It's a little stressful. Where do I start? How do I start? Should I have prepared a year ago? Can I do it now? And just having the right people to guide you through the process and to explain things as you go through the process is definitely key. Real estate transactions are definitely not something that everyone thinks about every day. So to implement those key people into your transaction, into your home buying process is going to be alleviate a lot of stress from you as you go through it. They're going to provide a lot of knowledge for you so you can make informed decisions moving forward. So, first topic is to start with a budget. Determine your financial capacity and set a realistic budget. There's oftentimes that I'll have somebody, oh yeah, I'm looking for a house. I think I can afford, $450,000. We'll show them houses and, oh, I love this one and that one, this one. But when it comes down to it, it is nothing that they can afford because they didn't have a realistic budget, and we're going to get into that in a minute of how we can set a realistic budget. So obviously your budget has to be compiled from your savings account, your income. What do you already pay out? What are your expenses every month? What's left over? And you have to, now that you're buying a home, there's maintenance with the home, your house insurance and your taxes of the home. So there's new expenses that you're going to incur as far as being a homeowner. So there's a lot of discussion about, start with a budget. What does that look like? How much money do I make? How much money is going to be going out? So really just kind of put pen to paper, write those things down, what I can expect to pay for once I become a homeowner. Maybe it has a pool and now we have to pay a pool guy because I don't know how to take care of the pool. Maybe, you don't want to mow your own grass and you have to pay a lawn guy. Maybe the HOA does it. Maybe you have new HOA fees that you never had before. So there's definitely a lot to say about setting a budget, knowing what your income is and knowing what your expenses are going to be. So setting a budget is definitely key. And getting your mortgage person in the loop with that is definitely going to help out with setting that budget. They can help you kind of visualize and put pen to paper exactly what that looks like. Next up, check your credit score. I know when I was younger, I didn't even care what my credit score was. Not really a good thing going into buying your own home. Credit score is definitely going to be a huge impact on what you qualify for, the type of interest rate that you get. For item number one, a good credit score is crucial for securing a favorable mortgage rate, just what I said. So if you don't have a good credit score right now, just work on that. And a good lender can tell you, okay, if you pay off this credit card, if you make an extra 2 payments on that, maybe pay down your car to this amount, then these things can definitely be implemented to boost that credit score up. And they can let you know, like, okay, you're at your credit score is right here. If we can just get you to here, it's going to get you that better rate. And it's going to help your monthly payment come down to this, something that might be in your budget or more affordable for you. They've got free credit apps out there, creditkarma.com or credit, I don't know. They all have apps, but that's one of the ones that I've seen promoted. That's pretty accurate. So there's definitely a lot of help out there as far as learning what is my credit score without actually getting your credit score pulled, and just keeping up with that. Like, keep your credit score, like check it weekly. Like, okay, I made that payment. What did it do to my credit score? And don't put things on credit. Or maybe you need to build your credit. Maybe you need to fill out a credit application form and get a credit card because you don't have an established credit. So defining exactly, do I have too much credit out there? Do I need to bring it down, or do I not have enough credit and I need to build my credit? So those are definitely some things you need to start planning or thinking about as far as your credit score goes, because it definitely impacts your mortgage rate, and will either inflate or deflate your payment every month. Pay off outstanding debts and improve your score if needed. Next up, save for a down payment. So Typical down payment, I mean, if you're trying to be a good buyer, we want to save at least 20%. So, say it's just for round numbers, and the fact that I'm not a scholar at math, say the house you're buying is 100,000. Okay, so you're going to want to save at least 20,000, 20% of 100,000. So we want $20,000 in our checking account or savings account or whatever. Do not put it under the mattress. I've learned that mattress money is not helpful. You have to be able to track the money. Whether your parents are gifting you the money or something, we have to have a paper trail for where that money is coming from. But 20% for the down payment is beneficial for sure. Not everyone has to have 20%. There are different, I don't know what you would call them, different mortgages, different loan programs that you can get that have lower rates, like you only have to put 3% down, like FHA loans or VA loans, like you don't have to put anything down. There are home down payment assistant programs out there. So there's a lot of ways you can go, navigate the down payment program, but typically 20% for a conventional loan is kind of what you want to aim for. So again, getting that lender circled into your communication, let them guide you on, where you're at with your income, how much money you're looking to put down, like what type of home are we looking for, what is that budget. We're going to get into pre-approvals in a little bit. Again, number 2, I've highlighted having a higher down payment can lower your monthly mortgage payment. So that's good. You pay now or pay later, basically. So if your monthly budget, you're like, oh my gosh, I have to pay, sports every month, like, or cheerleading fees every month, or whatever it is that every month, if your monthly payment is that like super important to you to keep at a minimal, then we want to save. So the more we put down, the less our monthly mortgage payment is going to be. So again, explore first-time homebuyer assistant programs that offer down payment assistance. So there are all kinds of really awesome programs out there that can help you with down payment, but getting that savings account up to par is definitely going to be key. So here we are. I mentioned it before, but get pre-approved for your mortgage. So the first thing I do when I come in contact with a client is, of course, I want to know, like, oh, where do you want to live? Why are you moving here? All of the typical questions. What type of home do you want to buy? But one of the most important questions I asked are you pre-approved? Because if you're not pre-approved, what I want to do and how I help you move forward in a positive realm is I make sure that we are looking at homes that you can actually afford, because I don't want to show you any homes that you get in there, you absolutely love it. Oh, it's got the view, it's got the pool, it's got all the bedrooms I need. There's a 3-car garage. But then we rope a lender into it, and they're like, oh yeah, but no, you're like $100,000 over budget. So now you've fallen in love with this home. You find out you can't afford it, and then you're like the excitement of owning a home is now deflated. You're like, bleh. So we want to circumvent that whole emotional thing, and just off the bat, what we want to do is get pre-approved. And again, when you go in, you write in your application, you start talking to the lender. They can talk to you about your credit. Is it good? Is it bad? Does it need work? Is it great? We're good to go, whatever it is. So get those lenders in there. Talk to multiple lenders. Compare who can offer you what. I definitely have my lenders that I value are very honest and can service you the best. But I always say, this is just my referral. But if you want to go out and just, explore your options that are out there, then do that, of course. Obtain pre-approval to understand how much you can afford. So that's key number 2. I already kind of went over that one. And number 3, pre-approval, it strengthens your position when making an offer. And this is so important, because if we go into a multi-offer situation and you're like, go in full asking price. I know the other people are, offering, and we're going up against another one. I actually just had this situation a week ago. But if we go in there like, we're willing to give you everything you're asking for, but we can't prove it. Like, I have no pre-approval to send over to the listing agent, and I'm representing you as a buyer. They're going to be like, yeah, so basically you have nothing. I couldn't even tell my seller if you could afford this house. So without that pre-approval, without me being able to send that pre-approval over to the listing agent with our offer, our contract on the home that you want to buy, basically our contract is kind of valued at nothing. So when you have that pre-approval and it accompanies your offer, it makes your offer that much stronger. Like, they know that you are ready to go. Your credit's already been looked at. They know that this home is affordable for you because your lender said so. So it kind of gives them more of a realistic that this buyer is certified, like this pre-owned certified cars, they've been checked and they have the inspections and they go through the 12-point inspection. Well, it's me and your lender. We've checked you. We put you through the 12-point inspection and you're good to go. You are certified. So it's kind of a little comparative there. So you're good to go. So getting pre-approved is crucial in the buying process. So we definitely want to make sure you get that done when you start looking for houses. Research your neighborhoods all the time. I'm from the local area. I've lived here in the local area for 40 plus years, and people that are coming from out of town are always asking me, well, I'm from out of town. I've never been there. I mean, I vacation there maybe once or twice, but I don't know the neighborhoods. Like, this house looks really good, but Paula, are there elementary schools close by? Am I going to have to drive my kids across town? Like, what does it look like? So really research your neighborhoods and get to know, is this a good community for the lifestyle that I want to live? Like, do they have other kids there? Maybe you're an older couple. Well, older couples really wouldn't be doing first-time home buyers. Maybe, I don't know. But just obviously knowing the neighborhood and knowing exactly, does it have a playground for the kids? Does this house in this neighborhood have, activities going on? Is it good for like Halloween and trick or treating or, whatever? So really knowing the neighborhoods. Is it close to grocery shopping? Is there a daycare close by? Just all the things about the neighborhood. So proximity to work, like, is it close to where I'm going to be working? Is it safe? The amenities in the neighborhood. Do they have a pool? Again, I went back to the playground thing. Are there sidewalks? Can I push my kids safely in a stroller with my toddler on his, new little bike? So getting to know the neighborhood and knowing that it fits the lifestyle that you desire, that's super important. I don't ever pressure anyone into buying a home that they haven't seen and drove through. And I always encourage, when we're doing a showing, that people go and I was like, okay, we saw the house. Now drive through the neighborhood. Make sure you're getting a good vibe. Research the properties around you. Are a lot of them rentals? Is that something good to you? Is that something not good to you? Do you mind that factor or that statistic? Are most of these people homeowners? What is the age median in this neighborhood? So we can pull up statistics like that. They have neighborhood statistics that I can help you pull, and you can get all those factors in there. Do these people all drive an hour to work, or is it only 5 minutes? Is it close to downtown? Can I walk? Blah, blah, blah. So there's a lot of information that you can find out about a neighborhood, and a good realtor like myself will help you find out just to make sure that this is a good fit for you and your family. All right, so defining your wants and needs. This is always the fun part for us women, sometimes you guys too. But it's like, what is the essential features? Okay, we'll just go with number one here. Essential features and amenities that I desire in home. Maybe it's like, I don't care what the rest of the house looks like, but I love being in the kitchen. Like, I bake, I like being in the kitchen. The kitchen needs to have space, or it needs to have a lot of cabinets, or I like a lot of countertops, or my kitchen, I want it to be white, or, what have you. Just know and define what are your wants and needs, and then obviously share those things with your realtor. again, I'm right here. Prioritize your needs and consider potential compromises. So yeah, of course I want to be out there and um, I want to find you that perfect home, but maybe that perfect home doesn't exist. So we're going to move on to number 2. Prioritize your needs. Like, yeah, I want A, B, and C, but if I had to choose one or two of those to live without, I could live without A and I could live without C, but I have to have, B. Um, so maybe we can't find that ultimate perfect home, but maybe we can check a couple of those boxes. So know what your wants and needs are, and then prioritize them. Like, what is essential and what isn't so important. This will help me help you like narrow down your options and make informed decisions. So maybe you found like a really good home, but then the neighborhood wasn't as good as maybe the other house that didn't have the nice kitchen or what have you. So that's what I'm kind of talking about. Kind of levy what is important. Is the neighborhood more important than, what the kitchen looks like? Or, maybe this has a pool and you don't care what the house looks like because you want the pool. So those are just things just to prioritize. So definitely, write that down. Like, what is exactly my priority when it comes to buying a home? And that helps us, the realtors, make sure that we're sending you appropriate opportunities for you. So it's like, okay, well, this doesn't check all the boxes, but it does check some of the boxes. So, we'll definitely present a lot of opportunities for you. And then you can take those opportunities. And I always call it like the homework phase. We go and we look at all of them and then we compare. And that helps you prioritize too. You're like, okay, well, I've seen these in person. I've seen the kitchen. It's a little smaller than I wanted, but it's got the pool. So I can compromise in one area and maybe not in the other area. So again, helps me help you. I love this one. Put lots of arrows on it. So hire a trusted real estate agent. Duh. That's me, obviously. If you've seen any of my social media, I always use the same picture. I don't look like that today. My hair's back in a bun, as you can see. So, but yes, on my good days, I look like that picture. So obviously you want to hire a trusted real estate agent. So one, there are agents out here, excuse me, I'm not going to say any names, but they are in it for themselves. Like, they just want to do the transaction. They want to make the deal. They don't care what kind of home you're in. They don't care if you get the inspection. They just want to do anything to close and to put the money in the bank. Okay. So that's not what I'm talking about. A trusted real estate agent. A real estate agent, you sit down, you talk with them, you get to know them, you know their ethics, their values, their mission, their mindset. You jive with them. When you meet somebody and right away you can always just tell that it's, like, I like that person or I don't like that person. From across the room, if you just see someone, people, we can be a little judgy. But once that person comes over to you, from the minute it's the initial handshake, these are your first impressions that are going on. They smile, they make eye contact, they're engaged in what you're saying, they're taking mental notes, so these things all I feel fit into, can I trust this person? So I really think any agent that showing you houses, like, have that conversation, like, even without showing houses or maybe at a showing, like, have those conversations with them. Really find out, are they genuinely there for you? Are they listening to you? Did they hear you the first conversation? Do they remember what you said before? So definitely find that agent that fits the type of person that you are. Me personally, I am not pushy. I have the patient. My husband says I have the patience of, a saint, because I don't push my clients, and I'm not in a hurry. I always tell people it's okay that you're just looking. It's okay that you don't plan on buying for another 6 months. It's okay that you're not retiring for 2 years, because guess what? I'm still going to be an agent in 2 years. I'm still going to be an agent in 6 months. I'm still going to be an agent. So whether I help you today or tomorrow or next year, I just want to help you. And honestly, that's what I'm here for. So engage in a professional real estate agent with experience in your desired area. So again, if you're looking in the Sarasota, Tampa Bay area, I'm all in there. So I've lived here just about most of my life without saying my actual age. Like I said, I've been here for over 43 years, and I've been pretty much raised here. I went to elementary school, middle school, high school. I went off to the military, and then I came back, and I raised my family here. So I've seen the neighborhoods come, I've seen them go, I've seen them come back again. I've seen, where neighborhoods never went through those things. Like they've always kept their value. So I know like the newer neighborhoods that are going in, okay, yeah, these ones are geared more towards, retirees. These are geared more towards upcoming families that are growing. These are for singles, there's all kinds of different neighborhoods, and to know those niche neighborhoods and to be able to select like, okay, these clients would fit good here, these clients would fit good here, and take all of those, all of your criteria. So your budget, your lifestyle, the type of home you want, where you work, taking all of those ingredients, stir them together, and finding the right location with the right home at the right price. So that's the person that's going to know that can do all those things for you is the agent that's been here for a while. We know the area. We know the area. We just know where to put you, what would fit you best. Okay, let's see. I'm just trying to read here they can guide you through the buying process, negotiate on your behalf, and provide valuable insights. So honestly, I have done a bunch of transactions. Negotiating is, I would say it's fun for me. It depends on the scenario, honestly. Depends on the agent on the other side. Sometimes I've dealt with some really kind of hard-headed agents, sometimes just very pleasant agents. So one, knowing who you're dealing with on the other side of the transaction is very key. I am super non-confrontational, and I definitely can not make waves. If we can avoid hurdles or confrontation or anything like that, I will definitely find a way to do that just for a smooth transaction, stress-free on the client, and add all that sort of thing. Okay, so enough about me. I'm gonna take the arrows away here. Ooh, this is a good one. Conduct thorough inspections. So I have my go-to inspector, and he told me a story one time where he's like, I was on an inspection and this young couple came up to me. It was their first home, and their agent told them, you don't need inspection. It'll be fine. If we get an inspection, the deal's going to fall through. So hello, that's like super huge red flag. If you are working with an agent and they're telling you don't need an inspection. I even get inspections on new build because everybody makes mistakes. And in new build neighborhoods, they're going through so many, they're pumping out new homes like crazy, and we have all new workers sometimes on the job all different days. So sometimes things get overlooked. So always hire an inspector, whether it's a pre-existing home, a condo, a townhome, a new build, always get your inspector in there. 85%, roughly 85%, the reason why a transaction fails is right after the inspection, because the buyer goes in, they get the list, the report, whether it's 1 page, 5 pages, 10 pages. And if that report doesn't align with, their expectations about, can I afford to fix all these repairs? Did I already kind of have this in mind? Like, yeah, I already knew this was going to be like this. Or, oh, it's only 1 page of repairs. We're good. That's within my budget. That's within my comfort zone. So just getting through the inspection is huge, but please never go around the inspection. It will bite you in the butt sooner or later. So definitely hire an inspector, a qualified inspector. Inspections help identify any underlying issues or maintenance requirements. So one, this is about being informed. You're going into this investment purchase, you're being informed. Okay, I know that in my mind, in 8 more years, I'm probably going to have to replace the roof. I know in my mind that, guess what? The air conditioner is brand new. So that's one thing I don't have to worry about. going into it, okay, I know it's a little outdated. I'm going to have to put GFIs in the kitchen because, it was built in a time where GFIs weren't code. So just going in and having that inspection done just kind of helps you be smarter about the investment that you're going to make. And use the inspection report to negotiate repairs, or maybe to negotiate the offering price. So again, the inspection can be utilized as a way to negotiate further with the buyer or with the seller. So get the inspection, never go around it, and it can be used to, one, get some of the items repaired, just depending on how the house is being sold, or maybe get a buyer's credit for closing. So all of those things are what your realtor can definitely help you negotiate once the inspection has been done. So definitely key, once you go under contract and you get in there and you're starting to negotiate things, that the inspection is a huge part of that negotiation. All right, next slide. We evaluate affordability and long-term investment. So number one, consider the home's long-term value and potential for appreciation. So at the beginning of the video, I went into this is the biggest investment you're probably ever going to make. Anyone, I know I'm not like a Wall Street person, or I don't, do the stock market or anything like that. But, and a lot of Americans don't. They go to work and they come home, they pay their bills, they take care of their kids, they cook dinner, whatever. So owning a home is probably going to be the one and only investment that they ever do, but it's going to be the best investment. And long term too, a lot of people that buy their houses, they go through their stages of life, and guess what? They get to hand that investment down to their children, or maybe they cash out and then that's their retirement, when they downsize, and now they have a retirement fund, because now we're older and we don't have the ability to work, or whatever the situation is. So number two, assess affordability based on your budget and future financial goals. So it's okay, this is what my budget is. These are what my future goals are. What is the delta in between? How can I make some improvements on this house to maybe have a bigger payout later? What small updates can I do? Do I have the budget for those updates? Which I kind of ties into number three. Think about the home's resale potential if you plan to upgrade later. So yeah, I'm not here to flip the house. I bought it. I know I'm going to live here for at least 10 years because it has 4 bedrooms and I only plan on having 2 kids or 3 kids. So we shouldn't grow out of the home. And I know probably by then I'm going to have the kitchen updated, or maybe we're putting a pool in or whatever. So the longevity and the updates that I'm doing to the home are going to in turn, up the value or the resale value of my home later. And again, it's going to build my equity. So definitely home or real estate is going to be one of the biggest investments that most people here in America have throughout their lifetime. Negotiate with confidence. All right, this is a good one. Again, going back to the real estate agent. Hello. Work with your real estate agent to negotiate a fair price. So once we get under contract, okay, there's certain tactics that we go back and forth. And as an experienced real estate agent, we know, like I said, the first thing I do is I call that listing agent and I get to know them. I befriend them. I let them know that we're both working together to make the buyer and the seller happy. We're going to come to terms fairly. So I make that phone call, I establish that relationship, and then we start negotiating. I'm like, all right, what is your seller's motivation? Why are they moving? Do they need to move? Do they not need to move? Are they just, playing the real estate market? And I kind of get into their brain a little bit about, motivation, because motivation is huge when it comes to, how much maybe they're willing to come down in the price. Maybe, they're not willing to come down at all, but I find out those key elements for my buyers, and then I use those to negotiate working forward. Another thing to do when we get under contract, or even before we get under contract, is consider the contingencies and be prepared to walk away if necessary. So contingencies means, okay, am I getting a loan? That's one. It's a contingency. So the appraisal, if the house appraises or if it doesn't appraise, if the house, if say we going back to round numbers, say we want to buy the house at $100,000. But it doesn't appraise for more than, say, 90. Okay, so now what happens? Like, do we just walk away because now we can't afford, to bring 10 grand more to the table, and the bank's only going to loan us on 90,000? What do we do? So the contingency there is, yes, we could back out if we can't get the loan, because that contingency isn't met. Like, we can't get the loan because the appraisal came in low. Do we want to walk away? Maybe not. Maybe you really want this house. So, one of three things can happen there. And one is, the seller can come down to the appraisal price. The buyer can come up, to the appraisal price. Like, you can come out of pocket, or maybe meet in the middle. Buyer comes down half, or buyer goes up half, the seller goes down half, and you meet in the middle, or you just agree to both walk away because no one's willing to compromise there. So be prepared to walk away if necessary, but it doesn't always have to happen that way. There's always room for negotiation. Just in my experience alone, that's what I find. So again, going back to we're talking about the third one here on my slide. Don't be afraid to negotiate repairs or other terms in the contract. Say the closing date is important to you because you're like, oh, I'm moving all the kids. It's the summer, school's getting out. I have to be in by this date, and that's very important to me. And the seller's like, well, if you can give me, if you don't make a big deal about the inspection, or if you can put a higher escrow deposit down, then I will be willing to move out sooner. So definitely the different terms of the contract can always, it's a fair negotiation. Everybody needs to come together to negotiate the contract that's fair for everybody involved. So again, a knowledgeable real estate agent will know like what can be negotiated, what usually isn't, what's fair, what's usually expected, what's normal, what's unnormal. But my theory is it never hurts to ask. So, okay. Negotiate with confidence. Okay. Understand the contract. So this is a really important one. I've written contracts for people, and there's little blanks that you fill in. Of course, like how much do we want to buy the house for? What's our escrow deposit? When's the closing date? Who's, signed up to pay for title, owner's policy, that sort of thing. Inspection days, what the inspection criteria days are. But the whole contract has got a lot of information in it. And when it comes to if there's any hurdles or any difficulties about the transaction, any lawyer, any person involved in it is always going to go back to the contract. So it's very important to understand, what you're signing. So review the purchase contract carefully. Seek legal advice. I always tell people I am not an attorney and I'm not an accountant. I am only a real estate agent. So there's only so much I can help you with as far as, those services are concerned. But I have really good networking with attorneys and accountants, and I refer my clients out to them all the time. Number 2, understand the terms. The terms, contingencies, and your obligations. Like, what is expected of you, the buyer? What is expected? When is it expected? And like, how do you fulfill those obligations? So again, going over that contract with your agent is super important, just so you know exactly what is expected of you, the buyer. The third one, be aware of timelines, financing conditions, and potential risks. So again, going over all those the little blanks that we fill in, like, okay, this is our inspection period. So at the end of this date or that period, we need to know if we're moving forward with this purchase. And if we don't know at the end of that inspection period, what are the consequences if we don't know, or if we didn't come to an agreement at that time? Like what happens if, we don't meet that time crunch? And so all the risks involved. What is my financial conditions? Like what does that look like? How much money do I have to have, and where do I need to be putting it? So again, having that lender in place, having a great realtor that can explain all the contract terms to you and all the dates to you. So become very familiar with the contract and exactly what you are signing. All righty. Get homeowners insurance. So, all right, this is just the boring one, but it's kind of obvious. So with any great investment, you want to protect it, correct? And obviously the bankers feel the same way, because if you're getting a mortgage on, if you're using a mortgage or a home loan to purchase your home, obviously this is something that is required because the banks want to protect their investment as well. So homeowners insurance is definitely mandatory in that regard. So protect your investment with a comprehensive homeowners insurance. That's obvious, number one. Compare the policies from different insurers. I have got my go-to. She kind of shops around for all of my clients and gives you different options. Here in Florida, insurance has been a little bit difficult, with the hurricanes and just inflation and all of the things. It's been super, not difficult. I don't know, maybe difficult's a good word. It's just been super, I'm just going to go with difficult. I can't find another word to put in there, to get policies, not impossible, but just difficult. So obviously, insurance has been a little bit higher lately. I mean, even my own, we've had the same insurance for 10 years. And this past year, they're like, sorry, no, we're not insuring you anymore. So I think they just removed themselves from Florida. It wasn't because our roof was 20 years old. I mean, we did get it replaced, but they were just like, we're out, and then we were just like, my husband and I were like, what do? We have no insurance. So of course I called my insurance lady here that I refer all my clients to, and she shops around for us. Okay, what type of coverage do you need? Da 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 da. She gives us some options, we pick, and then everything was better. So it's good. So definitely shop around with the different policies and the different coverages you can get to make it fit. One, your budget, and two, exactly what type of coverage that you need. All right. Oh, yes, this is fun. I want to make fun of the picture here real quick. So no one is ever that happy when they're moving. Look at these two. Anyway, so plan for moving expenses. So we're happy. We got it under contract. Things are running smooth. We're going to closing. And so now let's budget for the move. So moving expenses, you include like the movers, if, you have that luxury, or renting a truck. Like if you're packing up everything yourself, maybe you're only driving across the county, maybe you're driving across the United States. So make sure you get those things lined up, truck rental or the movers. Set aside funds for packing materials. Me personally, I do purchase some of those for my clients. I'll send you moving boxes and tape and bubble wrap and all that sort of thing. But utility transfers, that's another thing that some people don't think about. It's like, oh my gosh, I got to turn on the lights. I'm going to require a deposit for that. If I don't have an established credit or an established electrical account in this area, maybe they're going to require like $500 or something because I'm a new customer and they don't know, my payment history. Getting the water turned on or the waste management or whatever it is. So there's a lot of cost wrapped into moving. So just make sure you plan ahead and, make a list of things that you need to check off, on moving day, what needs to happen on moving day. And of course, just make a plan. I do provide a moving checklist for my clients. So any good agent should have one of those readily available. Kind of like a generic form. It's not really specific to any sort of area. So I think it's kind of usable anywhere in the United States, but it's like a good checklist of things that you should be doing, like, 3 months out, 1 month out, 2 weeks before, the week of, and then the day of, moving. Just kind of keeps it's a lot going on. So it just kind of keeps you mentally on task with the things that shouldn't be forgotten. Because sometimes you get around to the day and you're like, oh shoot, I should have did that 2 weeks ago. So anyway, I hope you found a lot of this information beneficial. If you would like to set up a phone call or just chat about what your plans are, maybe you are a new home buyer and you're looking to move to this area in the Sarasota, Florida area, I would love to help you in that journey. So yeah, just reach out. I will put, my information is pretty much everywhere on my social media. But you can reach out to me, my phone number, or even my email address. And I would love to set up a little short conversation to learn exactly, what your timeline is, what your expectations are, and how I can help you move forward. My tagline is, let's make your next move together. And I literally mean that. I want to help people move and accomplish their goals with their home purchases. I know today was focused a lot on first-time home buyers, and it's a huge endeavor. And you can never know too much. You can never be like too prepared. So I would love to, have that conversation with you and just see how I can help you move to the Sarasota, Florida area. All right. Until next time, I will see you later. Bye.